So her shit might be loose as hell, but you'll go in like, oh, this shit tight. And she be like, yeah, I told you I only been with like 2 guys my whole life, but this bitch got a body count of 70. But now they got ways to tighten their shit back up to where you don't feel like that looseness. Because, man, you dive in some of these holes, it's like you fell into the fucking Indian Ocean, man. No walls, no nothing. You just be lost in there.
Oh, man.
But, yeah, we supposed to get clean, young, youthful, clean, beautiful, untouched women, man. That could take on that could be a reflection of you. Because your wife is what? A reflection of you. Hey, your woman even start to talk like you. You start saying shit, she start using those phrases. You use the word the Most High, she use the word the Most High. You use the word fall back, son, she starts saying it. Hey, man, some people be with their woman so long. Hey, look up the word Teleguni. 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 Telegony. That's when a man to have a child with a woman and it actually be his child, but the child come out looking like the ex-boyfriend. That happened on a couple of episodes of Maury. And the woman thinks shit like that is funny. But look at this devil. You know his kingdom over.
Trying to keep it back in there.
And that show you Esau ain't got no spirit. Esau ain't got no flavor. I bet you a Jake his age would have came through with the Al Green, with the fucking 68 DeVille on deuces. With the tango too. That devil dry as hell, man.
Hey, yo. He's not even bothered enough. He's just sitting there.
You are my starship. Come take me up tonight. Huh? Telegony. 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 It should pop up. Put next to it birth. Telegony birth. Birth something. Birth or something. And read that. Because it's and that show you that what? The DNA. Hey, shalom, brother. Yabba. That tell you that what? The DNA of these women actually get stuck. That actually get stuck inside them, man. Telegony, right? So, I mean, the DNA of the woman past lovers actually stay inside them. To the point where you can have a baby with her, but the baby come out looking like the ex-boyfriend, but it's literally biologically your baby.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's real. Read that. And there was a couple of cases of that. Read that, bro.
Telegony was a theory of hereditary holding that offspring can inherit the characteristics of a previous mate of the female parent.
Ooh.
Thus, the child of a woman might partake of traits of a previous sexual partner.
Right, but it's actually biologically your kid. And that's the importance of having a virgin, man.
Damn, it's crazy. Damn.
Yeah. You know, I get with a woman, she come out, say we don't know the brother. I get with a woman, my son come out looking like him. I DNA tested, they like, yo, it is yours. But I'm like, why I look like this motherfucker? They were like, it's a rare case of Telegony where his DNA actually structured and framed.
That look like Esau.
That look like Esau, man.
And that's his real kid.
That's his actual kid, but she took on the features of the ex-boyfriend. I'll be pissed. Yeah, yo, that's some psychological shit, man. And you gotta raise this motherfucker.
But he really yours then.
So you can, yeah, but he really yours. But the DNA formed him based upon his looks. But he's actually your kid. And they test him, the one he looked like, they like he's not yours. They test both of them men. They're like, he's not yours, the one he looked like. He's yours, the one he don't look like. Hey, but that's the significance of having a virgin. She had no other man DNA inside of her. So the chances of that happening is what? Slim to none.
That's crazy. God damn.
But nah, go. That's it, man. I just wanted to go for that, man. Hey, when the Most High tell us to do something, it's for our own fucking benefit, man. It's for our own good. When he say don't eat shrimp, he meant it, man, because shrimp bring up your cholesterol level. Not your good. You got good and bad cholesterol. HDL is your good cholesterol, and LDL is your bad cholesterol. But shrimp bring up your cholesterol level. Shoot your shit through the roof, man. So is that crab.
Yep.
So is the lobster.
Yep.
Hey, when you crush a roach, that white stuff that come out of it is called chitin. That's the same thing that's inside lobster. When you splatter a roach on the wall, it got that white gooey stuff. It's called chitin. But when you crush a lobster, the lobster got chitin inside of it too. Because what? Lobster are nothing but sea roaches, man.
They call it delicacy.
Yeah. Man, you people hey man, when the Lord told us to keep these laws, don't do that. When you marry your wife, get her from a virgin, he told you that shit for a reason. Now when you go against what he said, you see the outcome and the effects. And you be like, oh, that's why the Lord said do it. Even if you don't understand it, do it anyway. Because the Heavenly Father ain't going to tell you something that's going to hurt you, man.
That's right.
You got babies coming out looking like they past lovers. That's off, man. But that's because these women got multiple men DNA inside of them. And newsflash, DNA stays inside a woman forever. They even travel to their brain. You know? So in Babylon, you want to wipe something up, it's best not to. Or you want to wipe something up, try to get something with a low body count. But how could you tell a woman's body count if the package been open? You can't. All you could really do is kind of assume. One way you might do it based on how shy they are. But that could be a monkey wrench. You can't. Once that package is open, there's no telling how many. It could actually be, a chick could actually be telling the truth. I've been with 3 dudes, that's it. But how do you know that? What's your proof? You know, there's no proof. You're like, well, the package been open. I don't know how many fucking hands fit in this box. This shit open. That's how you got an open water bottle. You like, how many people drunk off of this? Somebody could say only 2, 3 people, but it's open already. Like, yo, how many brothers put their mouth on it? It's wintertime, brothers got colds and shit. But you don't know the shit already open. You want some shit with the seal on it already. Now, you know what? I'm gonna just buy my own shit. Snap, snap. You hear that seal break? Snap, 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 snap. And you break that seal, man. And you be like, yo, nah, this is mine. My vibration is all over this. And the woman, she complies with you a lot easier. Study has showed that more virgins are more likely to stay married than non-virgins. And that's true, man. Why? Because they have the ability to pair bond. They haven't been desensitized. So they can catch butterflies. Imagine you've been with your virgin, your chick you had for like 10 years, and you go on a vacation for a year and come back. She can still get butterflies. Because what? All she knows is who? You. She can still relive those feelings. These hoes today can't get butterflies. You couldn't pay them to get butterflies. Bitch, I give you the mega millions if you get a butterfly. She can't do it. Because she been desensitized, man. You know, but go ahead. I ain't want to drag Salaki for dragging that point out so much.
Way back. You gotta be careful what you put on the
It could be demonic. This old school, you've been around for a while. You've probably seen a lot of oppression with our people. What year you was born?
Me?
Yeah.
39.
Boy, you better get out of here. Huh?
39.
39.
Not right here.
Hey, that's the spirit. Pray that in the
I tell you
big
what,
four.
if you don't take the gun, subtract 1939 from 2009.
Nah, we take that word for it, bro. We ain't tripping over shit like that. Go ahead. What time we got? We got a
Quarter after 2.
Our wives ravished, our righteous men carried away.
Yeah, our wives ravished, right? Our righteous men, old school guy reflected, so he dropped the name. He said, our wives ravished, our righteous men carried away. Because look at all the people, the righteous of our people that stood up and fought for something. It was killed in silence, man. You know, or locked up and thrown in prison, man. So that can't be talking about the rats. Who that happened to? That only fits our people, man. Read on.
Our little ones destroyed.
Our little ones destroyed. You see these little kids? They bugged out, man. They 3 going on 30, and the mother think that's cute. You know?
Oh man, there was a video of a little girl. She was cussing out an older man, and the mom sitting there. He was like, "Yeah, I did somebody." She was like, "So what? What's happening to my mama?" Listen, the mom standing right there watching this. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's a child that's destroyed, and furthermore, that's a little girl. No, they don't got no business coming out their mouth like that to a man. She had to be like, "Oh, this little girl right here."
Right.
Maybe younger than that.
They be smaller than her, like toddlers, little 3-year-old, 4-year-old. Talking hella shit, and their parents think it's fucking cute, man.
So that shit start happening to their ass.
They tear that shit on, man. Man, that's why, man, you can't be planting seeds in these holes out here, man. Your kid grow up straight corrupted, man. There was a test. They say, you pick a wife based upon, if you could be reborn, which one of your ex-girls you would make as your mother? And if you could think of one, that's the one to wife up. I'm going to say it again. If you could be reborn, which one of your ex-girlfriends would you make as your mother?
You already know the answer.
So why wife them up? Why give them a baby? Right? None of them.
Our little ones destroyed.
Our little ones are destroyed. Read on.
Our young men are brought in bondage.
Our young men, see, who fill up the jail system? These young niggas from anywhere from like 13, 14, running into their 30s. They fill up the jail system. The scripture said our young men are brought into bondage, man, into captivity. Read on.
And our strong men are become weak.
Our strong men are become weak. Look at all these homosexuals, man.
Right.
Look at Terry Crews. big cocky, 6 foot,
Man.
muscle beard nigga, a faggot.
Got a lot of football things too, man.
Yeah.
A lot of them
Straight
football
faggots.
things.
Young guys there.
6 foot tall, tranny.
Yeah.
You 6'7", you a tranny, big ass tranny. Like nobody.
Malik Yoba.
Yeah.
Unless he just came out the closet.
Yeah.
Check him out. Malik Yoba.
Yup.
He said he a homo.
He say he rather deal with transsexual women.
Right.
That's his twist.
Yeah, the young guys ask me, they beat Memento. What do you think about it? They're trying to...
That don't mean he ain't a faggot. You know how many undercover brothers it is? Hey man, you got women that's losing their men to other men.
Yup.
Like you got men telling women, baby, I don't want to be with you no more. And they crying, breaking down, they leave their family and everything. And they come to find out she got left for another dude. That's what's going on, man. A man that abandoned his whole family just to get with Tyrone, to get with Michael, to get with John. A lot of these thugs, they be gay too, man. They got a saying, straight for the stay, gay for the stay and straight for the gate. Meaning, as long as we staying in jail, we gay, we faggots. But when it's time to go home, we straight. So gay for the stay and straight for the gate. So a lot of them thug, they call it thug loving.
They do that in
I got thug love for my nationwide posse, feel me?
I don't agree with that one at all.
That's what they call it, thug love.
But
But they be gay, they be straight homos, man. Yeah, a lot of the rappers gay, man.
99.9%.
Yeah. A lot of the entertainers, they faggots, man.
In Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah.
Because who talking about
Dave Chappelle.
oh, I don't know. No, I'm talking about rappers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot of them rappers be homos, man. Hey, Lil Wayne said Weezy Effie Baby. You know, so what is that? Lil Wayne kissed Baby on the mouth, man. I ain't gonna kiss no man on the mouth. I don't care he my father or not. I ain't gonna kiss no man on the mouth, man. Even in the scriptures or the mob of Sicilian brothers, they give you a slight light kiss on the cheek. And the brother Gabar do that. I mean, he'll piece you up and he'll give you a dap on the cheek, man. You know?
Without any means.
Yeah, because that's brotherly love. Because the scriptures say that we greet each other with a holy kiss, man. You know, but it won't be no negative vibration, man. You know.
Don't like this, brothers. Y'all done very, very good work. Go ahead and talk to these others. So you're more like in what part of the
And I know brothers came kind of last minute, and we about to leave so the people on this shit.
Good work. I know much to do about I learned more about getting the last 2 or 3 years that I know all of my life. I mean, because I was always sick.
It's your heritage, man. See that right there? That's what that's about. This is what the Lord calls you. That's what the world calls you. That's the truth right there.
That's what I was looking for all along. I've been talking to different ministers, different this and that, and come to find out when I get deep into it, I find out. So now, for the last 2 years, my knowledge, I get it all. And I study a bit. And this year what I'm bought, right here. I don't look till on Sunday.
Where you fought at?
Huh?
Where you fall at? What tribe was you?
Let me see.
What tribe was you?
Okay.
Tribe. That's the tribe that the Lord came out of.
Huh?
That's the tribe that the Lord came out of.
Okay.
Who they call Jesus Christ? That's not his name. His name is Yahweh.
I came in, my roots is in Detroit, South Carolina. And my brothers were there. They looked at past since King was in here. His doctors, lawyers, engineers. I didn't get it. I had to go to school in New York. Left it because I couldn't get education. And I made it.
Those schools, what you made?
Huh?
What did you make? You said you made it. Where did you make it?
Well, I made it come down there. Back then I was in slavery. When I was there, I had to get out of there.
Still are still.
Yeah, I was in deep slavery. I couldn't even make food. What you think they give me $1.50 a day, $7.50 a week? Was all I was getting. I came here to New York, started off $40 an hour, $40 a week. I used to come home after they got to take $39 home. Been in the room $7 a week. Let's go down to put up back to my little sisters and brothers. King got in there and straightened stuff out. All my little sisters and brothers went to college. All of them to the
This the real college.
That's what I
right
like
here.
about it.
This the real college.
Yeah.
Them schools, they don't teach you nothing but a trade.
Oh, I couldn't be caught with that down there. It would hang you. It would hang you. A blueback wrestler, you ever heard of it? The blueback wrestler. You ever heard of the blueback wrestler? They caught you with that book, they would hang you. You heard of the blueback wrestler?
Yeah, I want to just get into the scriptures real quick, just to back up what you're saying, because you did mention that.
Yeah,
you
I want to hear that.
Right, you was in slavery, and now you feel like you out of slavery.
Back up just a little
But you
bit.
gotta understand that
Oh, I see. You got
in this society, this society that we're living in, the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans are the chosen people of the Heavenly Father, right? Now we are in a slave mentality right now, and also physically as well. Okay. Now we could go into so many different things. We could talk about racial segregation. We could talk about the system, the school system. We could talk about even the work, the job system. These are all systems that Esau, the so-called white man, has created to keep our people still in slavery. Okay. So, hey Rick, the scriptures talk about how the Lord is going to deliver His people out of bondage. Okay. So let's get them.
The book of the prophet Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart.
It says, arise ye and depart. What's that talking about? It's talking about your spiritual. Okay, because right now we're in captivity, but men over here, we have arisen and we've departed from the society in which we're living in today. In our minds and in our spirits. Okay, and that's what our people are supposed to be doing today. Okay, go ahead.
Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest.
This is not our rest, man, because a lot of people think that this is actually where we're supposed to be at. You got a lot of people saying that we're trying to prosper in America. America is not a land that you can prosper in if you're a slave. You got people who actually go out there voting because they believe that their votes is actually going to count. Little do they know that there's actually an entity out there who's actually controlling everything. You see what I'm saying? So you can go vote for Trump, you can go for Hillary, you can go for Obama. It doesn't matter. It's not going to count at the end of the day because your vote as a so-called black person doesn't even count. You understand what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
It's all an illusion. You know what I'm saying? Just to give you the freedom of the thought of freedom of choice. There is no such thing. Okay?
For this is not your rest,
This is not our rest.
because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sword destruction.
It is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sword destruction. What's that talking about? Our people getting gunned down the streets. Okay? You do a 9 to 5 every single week. You're still broke. If you miss a week of paycheck, you're done. You see what I'm saying? You pay your rent. Let's say you get paid bi-weekly. You get paid on a Friday. 2 weeks later, you're like, damn, I'm already looking for the next paycheck. Why is that? That's all oppression, man. You know what I'm saying? You think the so-called white people deal with shit like this? No. They get money, right? Let's say somebody like a so-called white person. I say I'm a white guy, and I give birth to my son. The system is made in such a way that no matter what he does, he's going to be successful. He's going to be prosperous, compared to your son, who's a so-called black guy. You understand what I'm saying? Because the system is made in such a way that if you're a so-called black person, so-called Latino, so-called Native American, you're not going to prosper past a certain stage. You understand what I'm saying? So that slavery, right? That slavery that was back then in the 1800s, even till today, it's been done in such a way that people believe that they're not slaves, but their actions prove that they are slaves. Because you can't just get up and say, you know what, I want to go to Greece today. Nah, you got to go through a whole process. Sometimes you're not even going to get the chance to do that. A lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck because what? The system is made in such a way that if you're a so-called black person, so-called Latino, so-called Native American, you're not gonna get that freedom of like, oh, I can do whatever I want. You see what I'm saying? And Esau understands, when I say Esau, I'm talking about a so-called white person, right? They understand that when you go back into history, our people have always rebelled against authority. Even the slaves that they took into Brazil, for example, right? I'll use Brazil as an example. Them slaves that were on the ships were fighting against the oppressors, man. They were killing them. They were setting a lot of the plantations on fire. They were rebellious people, okay? So Esau saw that as a reason, you know what? We have to put a system that's going to keep these people down because if they get together, they're going to rebel against our power. And that's what Esau doesn't want. That's why when you look at things like the protests that happened in Missouri, the protests that happened in Baltimore, what did Esau do? They brought artillery weapons and military-style weapons to stop the protests. Why are you doing all that? Because of a regular people protesting because you shot one of their people? Why are they doing that? Because they want to put the fear in you. Why do you think cops keep shooting at our people? Because they want to put the fear in you. Because they want to let you know, nigger, if you get up and you say you're going to rebel against me, this is what's going to happen to you.
You know what? That's what's going to happen to you.
Psychological warfare.
That's it.
Because they used to do that back in the day. You would take the enemy head and put it on his, chop it off, and walk around with it on a stick, showing everybody like this would happen to you if you fuck with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the white man, he does that too. That's called psychological warfare. To keep you in line by tactics of fear.
Right.
They did that with the
That's what they used to do in Iraq. Hanging up on the thing.
That's where you get
on the
the
crane.
Levi jeans logo from.
Get that
They
line,
used
this
to
is
put-
gonna
they
happen.
used to tie the strongest sleeve up from one end to the other end and have horses and smack the horse's ass and it would split the strongest one that had.
Right.
So they would do it in front of everybody.
Right.
And that's what that whole Levi, the jeans, the Levi jeans.
Yeah,
If you look at the logo, that jeans is supposed to be strong jeans. So that's what that jean actually represents.
Goes back to buck breaking. That's what they used to call it.
What
You
is
know what
it?
I'm saying? Buck breaking.
Buck breaking.
Buck breaking, yeah.
This is Haggai 1:6. You have so much and bring in little. You eat, but you have not enough.
Right.
You drink, but you are not filled with drink. You clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages, earn wages to put it in a bag with holes.
That's the perfect precept because I saw a meme the other day where a female was like, yo, I feel like the bag that I'm chasing got holes in it. I was like, yo, that's a Haggai precept right there, man. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, I'll be chasing this bag, but I feel like the bag that I'm chasing got holes in it. That's a precept for that. Because that's what does that mean? It means that you'll keep working every single day, but you're still broke. Every time. It's like, yo, why am I always broke? You know what? And then Esau does it in such a way that he puts the lower income places. He said, you know what? We're going to rise up the taxes for you guys.
I lived through that.
Right. So we rise up the taxes for you. Even though you're low income, you're going to pay more taxes. You're paying all this taxes, but yet there's nothing being done in your communities, man. The roads are still messed up. You have no clean drinking water to even have.
There ain't even nets on the basketball court.
Did I live?
You see? But then you go to these white neighborhoods, they pay less taxes even though they're making more money than us. You see what I'm saying? And why is that done? So that you can keep the richest in a certain portion. It's called racial segregation. You know, back then they had segregation
And
where
they got breadline.
breadline, exactly. I misspoke. Not racial segregation, but residential segregation.
There you go.
So they have this thing going on where you go to upstate New York or whatever it is. That's very highly dense, populated with so-called white people. Man, the place is amazing. Why is that? Because they understand that, look, if we set up a system where so-called white people are successful, they get to keep the riches on this side. And then you people who are struggling, that you actually need the help, we're going to take that away from you. So what happens then? You're going to keep constantly serving us because you need the benefits that we're giving you. And if you rebel against that, you're going to get shot. And then that's going to be made as an example for the rest of the niggas who want to rebel against you. That's the whole tactic. Like the elder just said about what? Psychological warfare. And that's what our people are serving today. And that goes into what? Slavery.
Warfare, that's exactly.
Right. But then there was also another example that happened also in Brazil. There was this young man just like us. He's a 20-year-old guy, and then they have this thing where if you take a bus, you gotta pay to be on the bus. But he had the spirit of rebellion, so he said, "I'm gonna get on the bus. I'm not gonna pay." But what they do is they come to you and they by force they take the money from you, sometimes with a gun. So what happened is that the guy came up to him and said, "Yo, listen, you gotta pay up your fare for the bus." He said, "What you talking about?" He said, "Oh, really?" And he gave a signal. There was a sniper. The moment they went on the bridge, a sniper blew the kid's head off, just like that. And then that was an example for the other people and said, oh, if you want to get on the bus, you better pay money, especially if you're black. The president, I believe the prime minister or the president of Brazil, he when he was doing his inauguration, I think he had a gun with him, and he made an example saying, look, this is to show you that we have the power. If you want to rebel, this was coming to you.
The favelas.
Right. So Esau is just constantly telling our people, listen, man, we have you in subjection. If you try to rebel, this is what's going to happen to you.
And that's to put that ultimate fear for this.
Right.
You know, for that chip. You know, like, don't rebel. Because this new world order is coming, they're going to push that microchip, and they want as much resistance as possible. So they're trying to take away the guns and add as much psychological warfare as possible before this is made mandatory.
It's an old saying in the hood. They be like, niggas respect violence. You know what I'm saying? So if you like an average dude, if you ain't supposedly tough and all that, ain't nobody gonna respect you. Right. So they gotta do something extra to make you feel it. You know what I'm saying? That's why they do stuff like that. Like the elder said, that's ultimately for that right there. Because a lot of people are going down behind that.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 25. And the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thy